You're listening to the Valley Labor Report with David Story and Jacob Morrison.
And I've seen where one of the guys asked about organizing. Hang on one second. Let me look at this. I said something about organizing
gig workers, right?
Tenants and
Oh,
things like that. And I've seen a lot about this. You may know more about it than I do, but honestly, I have a difficult time speaking on something that I haven't worked with.
Yeah. Neither of us have any direct experience with tenant organizing. I know that it is done, and obviously there are a lot of the logic is taken from union organizing, which is, in union organizing, the thing that you have that is valuable to the employer is your labor. And so your biggest point of leverage is in negotiations is your ability to withhold your labor and keep them from making a profit. As a tenant, the most valuable thing you have to your landlord is your rent. And so your leverage in negotiations is your ability to withhold your rent. And, just like in a union, your ability to withhold your labor as an individual is not very powerful. You can be replaced. As a tenant, your ability to withhold your rent as an individual is not very powerful. You can be evicted. But as a union, as a tenant union, if you've got this apartment complex and you've got 1,000 people renting from the same landlord or the same corporation, and you get 1,000 people withholding your rent, but for reasons, and the reasons that they do that they want to advocate for like better conditions. Obviously, they're not getting wages from their landlord, but they have tenants. There are often a lot of problems, especially when you start talking about these big corporations. They're absentee landlords and they don't really do what they're supposed to. So, in order to get them to make the apartments better, to do kind of safety stuff, there are rent strikes and there are things like that. But neither David nor I have had any direct experience with tenant organizing, so I'd have to point you in other directions. But the logic makes sense, and it works. I've seen it work before. I've seen stories about it working.
And to end that, we can say we've got a very good friend and brother that come on the show. One of our first guests on the show was Chris Brooks, that wrote for Labor Notes. I don't think he currently writes for Labor Notes. I think
he's a staffer at News Guild.
Okay, but Chris he's actually out of Chattanooga. He was near us. He came up in the labor movement, but he has a wealth of knowledge on tenant unions. With him being in New York, that was how he cut his teeth in organizing. So I would say look out. He's on Twitter. He's on Facebook. Reach out to him on and send him a friend request and maybe look up some of his past articles. I would guarantee. I just seen him tweet about this past week. He said that's where he cut his organizing teeth as a union organizer, was in tenant organizing. Yep. So Chris Brooks is a good one to follow.
CH Activist on Twitter. CH Activist on Twitter. He's a good one to follow. And there are lots of good articles about tenant organizing. I know DSA has a good tenant organizing program. If you're interested in tenant organizing, maybe join DSA. I know the person that asked us. He is a member of DSA, so maybe reach out to your to National to see, because I think it was LA DSA or something. There's or maybe Boston DSA. I'm not sure, but a friend of mine that lives in Boston sent me a really good DSA tenant organizing manual. So reach out to your to your fellow members in DSA and maybe see what they'd be a better resource for that than we would probably. Go to thevalleylaborreport.org and get yourself a hat. We have got new hats now. New hats from a new vendor. I like them better personally. There's a few reasons. For one, the biggest reason, we've got the Union Bug right here. If you're watching on the stream, we've got the Union Bug right there on the front of the hat, right beside our logo.
Let me see the hat.
Let you see the hat. It's really, really nice. I like it a lot. David showing it off, making me expose my hat head to the world.
Your hair looks wonderful.
It's great. You do not, contrary to the pictures that David tweeted out, you do not have to wear it as a flat bill. I don't know what has gotten into him, but
you can you want to go.
If you want to look absurd.
I thought that was a thing.
Yeah, I told David when he tweeted that picture out, I was like, man, I haven't worn a flat bill since I was like 12.
Dude, I see maybe it's because I'm like listen to a lot of rap, but
maybe I don't know.
I see everybody in the scene wearing these.
I don't know. I look absurd when I wear a flat bill. So
well, I think everybody does, but regardless, I never wore them when they were in style. So I thought it was absurd then. But
yeah, and like the structure of the hat, we had a smaller run with another shop a while back. And we did switch vendors. The structure of this hat is just better. I think it's a different material, and I like it better. It's in my opinion, it's a better hat. And you can go to our website, thevalleylaborreport.org, snag you one of them. They are $35 with shipping, so that's $35, and that's it. We'll ship it to you wherever you are. It's great. I love it. I am very, very happy with the hat, and so you should snag one while you can. So thanks for tuning in, folks. Here's an announcement right at the top. The North Alabama DSA is holding a necessities drive every Saturday. Every Saturday, that means this Saturday too, from 3 to 5 p.m. at the IBEW Local 558 Union Hall on Clinton Avenue here in Huntsville, right across from Yellowhammer and Campus 805. So if you're in the area, you want to drop off some clothes, some non-perishable food items, blankets, then swing by the IBEW Union Hall, right across from Yellowhammer and Campus 805 from 3 to 5 p.m. this Saturday and every Saturday. All donations will be forwarded to the Manor House. Follow at DSA North Alabama on Twitter for more information. If you want to see what we're up to throughout the week, get our snide quips about the news of the day, then you should follow us on social media. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/The Valley Labor Report. We're on Twitter at Labor Reporters. I'm on Twitter at JacobM_AL. David is on Twitter at Radical Unionist. That's spelled RADICL Unionist. If you missed part of the show and want to go back and watch it later, you can search YouTube for The Valley Labor Report and subscribe to our channel. You can go back and watch the full show there, and we also clip segments throughout and release those throughout the week. So if there's one thing that you might be interested in, you can go back and see all the topics that we've talked about in the past. We also upload the program on more than 11 different podcasting apps. So to see if we are on your listening platform of choice, go to thevalleylaborreport.transistor.fm/subscribe. We do now have a website, thevalleylaborreport.org. Going to talk more about that in just a second. And finally, if you appreciate our work and want to help us stay on the air, consider throwing us a couple dollars a month on patreon.com/The Valley Labor Report.